almost nothing. It was a small detail, easy to ignore, something he noticed, then immediately dismissed. It didn't seem worth stopping for. Nothing warned him. Nothing asked for attention. Nothing seemed to require a response. At the time, overlooking it felt natural. Later, he would return to that exact detail. Not because it was important, but because it was the last moment when everything was still open. Nothing marked the moment it became too much to ignore. Nothing happens. Not now. He noticed the message, read it once, then put the phone down. It could wait. It always could. There was no urgency, no deadline. Nothing required an answer yet. At the time, silence felt neutral. Later, the conversation had already moved on. Not closed, just unreachable. By the time he replied, it no longer mattered. Nothing happens. Almost late. He checked the time again. It hadn't changed much. Still enough margin. He adjusted his pace. Just slightly. There was still time. Nothing pressing. Nothing visible. Nothing suggested he was already late. At the time, slowing down felt harmless. When he arrived, everything was already moving without him. Not fast, just far enough ahead. There was no moment where he could catch up. Nothing happens. Still here. He stayed where he was, not stuck, just not moving. It felt temporary, There was no clear reason to leave yet. There was no signal to leave, no reason to rush. Nothing asked him to go. At the time, staying felt reasonable. Others didn't stay. They simply left. Not suddenly, just gradually. By the time he noticed, he was alone. Nothing happens. Later on, he made a note, a mental one. He would deal with it later. There was no reason to decide yet. Later wasn't defined. It didn't need to be. Nothing fixed a moment in place. At the time, postponing felt flexible. Later arrived quietly, already shaped. There was no space left to decide. The decision had happened without him. Nothing happens. No reason. He hesitated, not because of doubt. There was just no clear reason to act. Nothing felt incomplete. Everything seemed optional. Nothing forced a choice. Nothing made waiting feel risky. At the time, pausing felt logical. Later, the option was gone. Not taken, not refused. Just unavailable. There had never been a clear moment to choose. Nothing happens. Just enough time. He calculated quickly. It still worked. Barely. It still seemed manageable. Margins felt sufficient. Close but acceptable. Nothing warned him they were imaginary. At the time, timing felt under control. The margin disappeared first, then the option. Nothing dramatic followed. That was the change. Nothing happens